Hey, what's up, family? Just got in a workout, got my water, got in my steps, trying to start the day off right. Haven't been to the gym in a while, and it was good to just work out some thoughts, work out some frustrations on the treadmill. What was interesting today is that the gym was kind of full, which is another sign that the federal government shutdown is in full effect. And so I just want to encourage people to take a walk if you can, do some exercise, get outside, enjoy nature, do what you can in the midst of the chaos. That's what I'm trying to do today.
Welcome to the Leadership Tea podcast, where we help you think about what it takes to get to the executive level, and then we help you to understand what you need to do to thrive once you get there. You are tuning in for our second shutdown bonus episode. We are kind of chronicling our feelings and thoughts and experiences during this government shutdown period. We know that many of our listeners are directly impacted by the shutdown, and we ourselves are also directly impacted by the shutdown, not just by virtue of where we live, but it's affecting our households, which are still linked in many ways to the federal government. So, I think that we just want to start today by talking a little bit about how we're feeling right now and how this is impacting our ability to navigate right now through the complexity of building our businesses, supporting our families, and many of the other things that we do. Shelby, you feel like that's an accurate description, or where are we at?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Agreed.
we're entering week 2
Uh-huh.
of the shutdown, and, if you didn't think it was a thing before, I think people are really starting to feel it now. Not necessarily the people who are directly affected, but people who are on the periphery and beginning to feel the second order effects, especially now that I guess a couple of days ago, there was an announcement that more people would be laid off, well, not just laid off, but rift from additional government agencies. And it's just it's a tough time. Like this past week, um, it was more up and down for me than usual. I think just watching people go through what they're going through, and dealing with it in my own household. Beginning to have second thoughts, like when I go out to get a coffee or when I go out to get a tea, it's like, okay, should I really be doing this? And then part of me is like, well, goodness, like I can't afford a tea. Like I just want to get a cup of tea. That's not, going to some fancy clothing store and buying, items that I know that I can't afford. But like, I'm beginning to have second thoughts about buying a latte. And it just sent me honestly to a dark place because it's like, what what is happening? Like for real, what is happening to our society, to our economy? I began just kind of going down this mental downward spiral of like, how did this happen to me? Like, what could I have done differently? Are there other decisions that I need to be making for the financial welfare of my family? And then again, thinking about other people who are going through the same thing. I read something very disturbing in one of the many chat groups that I'm in, where some people were talking about the risk of some individuals who left one agency as a result of being riffed, only to now be at risk of being riffed from another agency. It's just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I feel really similar. I have really started to think twice about small purchases. I think that for me, the headlines certainly send me into ups and downs. So for me, it was this week, the headlines that if, federal employees might not be paid for the time that they worked,
Yeah.
um, was like, That gave me like pause, like, oh, are we really doing that? And but then the people will be fired stuff, that shook me up. And over this weekend, I have been talking to people who were in fact fired on Friday night. People who we actually kind of need, you
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
need, right? Um, and just like how would I be going back to that, you've heard me say sometimes on the show and sometimes in some of my posts, that idea of what happens when the ball comes to me.
Yeah.
I've been playing that out in my head, like, okay, well, what happens if that happens in my household?
Mm-hmm.
And that is really a heavy, like that's like the balls you use at the gym, to
Yeah.
like, that's not a volleyball, that's a
It's a
weight,
real thing. Yes. You can't
and
just stand there and act like it's not coming right at you.
it's like, you're right. You're like, I did everything I was supposed to do, right? Like, I went to school, I got good grades, I got a job, I was like good and appropriate at the job. My husband got a job. He went to school, he did all the things, right? We haven't, we're not irresponsible people. We,
Right.
did the American dream stuff. I have a dog, I got a house, like it's a house I can afford. It's not too splashy and fancy. And I am like, you know, I drive just like a regular, like a car, like I call it the official car of Northern Virginia. Like everybody's got some kind of Honda or Nissan or Toyota,
Yeah.
like,
Pretty
and
much.
it's like I didn't do anything crazy in life. So why am I in this situation?
Yeah.
How did we get here? And then, I'm chronically online and I don't know. I know the easy answer is to say, well, you should just be online less. I actually don't feel safe not being online less. Like I want to know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have to find a balance. I'll work on that. But I'm chronically online. That is not helping because it's not just the negatives that are coming at me. It is I can see like there's been just a marked increase
Yeah.
in fake information hitting my feeds. Hey, this is Belinda. I'm going to try to keep it brief because my real feelings are probably a much longer video. But I'm up here early with Puppy, much earlier than I normally am, because I am just really disturbed by some things that I've seen online recently that had me up all night. I'm disturbed by a naked person, a naked man that I saw in the park yesterday, imitating an internet trend, I'm pretty sure, that made him believe that he should be in the sun naked for a certain amount of time every day to be an alpha male. And I'm just like, do people not have people around them checking on them, making sure that they're not doing crazy stuff? I, I'm getting all of these AI videos that are hard for even me to tell if they're real or not. I'm just worried about us. And I couldn't sleep last night. That's kind of where I am right now with the news cycle. So I'll stop there, but hopefully my outlook gets better soon.
It is disturbing. I'm not as deep in the interwebs as you. I rely on you to do that so that I don't have to. I'm picking up on
Yes.
your slogan. But I have noticed, as I'm applying for jobs and looking for opportunities on LinkedIn, I'm getting spammed on LinkedIn. And it's just like, what is happening? Like so many fraudulent dummy companies reaching out to me about, hey, we saw your profile and we'd like to talk to you about blah blah blah. And so then I go and do my, investigative research because I'm not gullible. And if anything, the State Department has taught me to check my facts and make sure that you dig deep into whatever source of information you're dealing with to make sure that they're legit. And a lot of these places, a lot of these people are not legit. And it's just like, what is happening? What in God's name is happening to society? And so that also just kind of ticked me off. And like you said, other people are beginning to reach out to me as well. People who have not necessarily been laid off yet, but are just operating in fear, operating in environments where they're constantly looking over their shoulders. They don't know what to say or do because they feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not a good place, not a good place to be, frankly.
Right. So I guess that's a good space to say, like earlier this week, like say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Mhm.
I was in the dark place. Just feeling like how can I do anything in this environment? How can I
Yeah.
build a business? How can I decide what my next moves are? How can I just how can there's I just don't feel stable, right? But then you and I went to an event. And it's
Yes.
not that the event was magical. Oh, it was nice. It was a great event. It was a great event.
Hmm.
But I was like, I need to get out of my house. I mean, this kind of goes to this, you and I are always talking about build community and get out and be with your village and blah, blah, blah. This wasn't even our village. We did not know these people.
Yeah.
Right? Like at
For real.
all.
At one point, I was like, okay, what is it that Belinda just signed us up for?
I was
But,
like,
I trust you. I went along with it. And
I was
as
like,
usual, it was all good.
it was
It,
fine. I also was in the first few minutes like, I do I feel like this today? Like, let's just go. Let's let's do
yeah.
it. Let's talk to
Yep.
people.
Yeah.
But and it turned out to be great.
It did. It really did.
But it was just a reminder that like, okay, I have to get out of my house.
Hmm.
Right? I just have to get out of my house and do stuff. I went on to have a great day.
Yeah.
Then the next day, which was Friday, I was also out of the house. I can't remember. Oh, you and I met up again.
Hmm.
And I had a bunch of stuff. Saw some friends, went on a walk in the park. Like, because now I'm looking for free fun because I'm not trying to save money.
Yeah.
So, right, I had some friends who were
That
like,
part.
let's get
Listen,
together. And I'm
Vince
like,
and I have been researching happy hours.
it's
So
like I'm
we
in
can
college
like
again. Like, free
eat
fun.
for real. Okay.
Right?
Like what time we got to get there before happy hour ends so
Yeah,
we can get, dinner and some drinks? Okay,
why not?
let's do this.
So I was like, let's go for a walk, right? And we had a wonderful time. We had a lovely walk.
Hmm.
We had a great chat. I feel like we actually had a better chat than we would have sitting around in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot better. Um, and so I just think that and then Saturday I just had a day of rest.
Mm,
My whole family, we all just needed a day of rest. We're all feeling pressures in different ways.
yeah.
And so I just think that like resting, but not resting and staying stationary to the point of allowing yourself to kind of go into a dark space,
Hmm.
getting out, touching some grass, literally getting some fresh air. These were
Hmm.
critical for me. And it even changed the way in which, again, because I'm chronically online, I began to consume media. At the
Interesting.
end of the week, I was like, goodbye, dark side of the internet. I'm looking for things that are going to inspire me, things that are going to teach me, things that are going to push me. Um, and that's kind of where I've been the last couple of days. So as we go into this third week of the shutdown,
Wait,
uh,
is it 3 or 2?
3 or is it 4? No, we're past 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah, 3, 4. I think it's 3. We're going in. It's all running together. It's too
Hmm.
long, right? Like one one day was too long, right?
Right.
Like
Seriously.
um, as we go into this third week, I just am gonna experiment with getting out. Even if it means going to the library, even if it means going out to free public spaces,
Hmm.
right? Community centers, libraries, parks. Um, it's fall. It's chilly. It's nice to walk around with a nice warm drink and look at the leaves. and we live near so many beautiful parks. Um,
Yeah, I co-sign on that. I actually, to your point of getting out and doing things, and especially doing things that are free, I went to a book signing event
mm,
yesterday. It was incredible. I got a chance to see my favorite professor from Duke. He just wrote a book. I took my son. At first, I had asked Christian yesterday morning, I'm like, do you want to come with me to a book signing? And at first he kind of, he gave me a look. But Belinda, sometimes our kids know when we need them. And he looked at me again and he was like, you know what, Mom, I'll go. And I was like, oh, okay. I had to like, keep myself together and not not break down
I
and
agree with
fall
you.
apart in front of him.
Yeah.
But it was nice. We had a nice mother-son afternoon at Politics and Prose in Washington. And it just reminded me, being with him and everything that we've been talking about tonight on this episode reminds me of a quote that every storm runs out of rain. And
Mm,
right now, we need to figure out how are we going to walk through the storm. This storm may last a little bit longer than any of us would like, but we need to get our umbrellas. We need to get our rain boots. We need to get our raincoats. We need to make sure that we are ready, to walk through the storm and endure it. But then know that eventually everything has an ending. And we just need to, hang in there, buckle up, and be ready. Go out into the storm prepared. You don't walk out into a rainstorm with no umbrella or no no sort of covering to keep yourself from getting wet. And I think I'm just using that as a metaphor for life right now. Like how am I going to endure this storm?
mm.
And yeah, that's kind of
Very
where I
important.
am.
And I mean, this is it's a boot camp for it, but it's also just like I'm just trying to really work on my mindset. I'm sorry, the dog is over me sitting here.
Oh, hey puppy.
She's ready for me to move. But just I have to stay hopeful. And so and I have to stay pragmatic.
Mhm.
So how am I going to do that? And I don't have the answer for you. Um This is what I'm gonna try to do. So I wish I had some magic thing to say that as we go into this next week, like this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be great. We're gonna make it like no, it's super scary right now. Like people might not get paid.
Yeah.
People might lose their jobs. People have lost their jobs.
People might not be able to pay their mortgage and
Like
their other bills on time. Like
it's not cute
it's
right
real. It's
now.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
And so I don't have something to say like just smile and it's gonna be all better or just like listen to your favorite playlist or like no that's not gonna pay the bills.
Yeah, it's not.
um all I can say is try to create some moments where you can just clear your mind because you can't figure out the solutions
Yeah.
when you're overwhelmed. And I don't know what that looks like for everybody. It's something different for all of us, but and we can't go through it alone. I mean, I know we say that all the time, but you just cannot. It's
No,
a,
you can't. You can't. You have to check on people. And hopefully people are checking on you. And as we've said repeatedly, community is clutch. This is a good
Mhm.
segue into the Leadership Lounge. I'm so glad that we are on the verge of launching this. Well, not on the verge. We
Yeah.
have launched it. You can go to our website right now, stirringsuccess.com, and look for the Leadership Lounge tab to find out more information. But in terms of launching it officially, we hope to have our first gathering. Have we decided? It's
I
going to
think,
be next month.
to be honest, given that we have repose coming up and we want to make
Yes.
sure that like we deliver, that I would say post repose. So we're
Yeah.
probably looking at the end of October um, to have the first group coaching session, but we are going to have to at some point kind of lock in um, October enrollments. And so I think what's really important for everybody to know is that this is our effort to build that community that we always talk about. Um, that we understand the hardships that everyone's under. And so, look, group coaching from the two of us should not be $5 a month. Right? Like, let's be honest.
Keep it all the way real. Hello?
Right? But we were like, you know what? Like, we find ourselves pausing at the thought of buying a latte.
Yeah,
So we actually priced it under a latte, right? I just bought a latte a little while ago. It was 6.97.
exactly. Mine is like
Oh,
$7.15. I
hey,
know exactly how much it is because I
hey.
am budgeting these
It's
days.
like it's actually cheaper than the latte that I got a little while ago.
Yeah,
Um, but that's how committed we are to, like, we hear not across industries, across regions, across countries, everybody's a little nervous, everybody's struggling right now. And so we are trying to meet the moment, even though it is not going to make us rich, right?
right.
It's probably not $5 ain't gonna pay my mortgage,
No,
but it feels like the right thing to do. And so, and then the other thing is we're cognizant of the idea that, okay, well, I go to this group coaching thing. Who's there? I don't know. Like, what's going on? Like, what are they going to do? We are screening people. So
mhm,
when you say that you're interested, we're going to send you an enrollment form. It's got 2 questions. We're screening every single form before we give you the link to our Substack to begin to pay and then come in.
that's right. Because
So,
we're being intentional and we want to make sure that you are being intentional too.
so that's the value, that's the why, that is, what we're trying to do. So, I don't think we want to keep you much longer, but we just do want to say, we want to be there for everybody in this moment.
We do. We do. And then one minor correction. I think it is technically, sorry, this is the perfectionist coming out of me. Technically, we're entering week 2 because the shutdown started October 1st.
Yeah,
Today is
the 12th.
October
You're right.
12th. Yeah.
I love it. Let's go.
Exactly. Right.
Me too.
Not that we really wanted to be week 2. I mean, we wanted it to be over sooner than later. But anyway,
Over.
yeah,
Over. You're correct. So it's too long.
exactly. One day is too long. One day is too much. But we hope you all are hanging in there. We hope that, at some point we will look back on this moment in time. And, Belinda and I thought that it would just be useful to chronicle where we are, what we're trying to do. We at least are trying to have a positive impact despite, our own personal challenges through everything that's happening right now. We are still committed to helping one another. We are still committed to bringing light to a dark situation. And we hope that you find this content useful and helpful. And we appreciate you being here with us. And we look forward to chatting with you again soon.